Pleasant good evening, everybody, from the Lawrenceville School in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. It is time for Mid-Atlantic Lacrosse Championship action as the host school, the Lawrenceville Big Red, gets set to take on the Hill School Rams. Pleasant good evening, everybody. I'm Chad Cooper, here to bring you all the action of this high school Mid-Atlantic Lacrosse Championship game on SFBN. Lawrenceville comes in with a record of 11-3 and actually beat the Hill School just 1 week ago today, 13-5 on this very field. Meanwhile, the Hill School comes in at 7-3, and after a good start to the season in which they went 5-1 through the 5th of May, they have dropped they have alternated wins and losses in their last 4 games, dropping a game at the Kiski School, beating the Petty School, losing to Lawrenceville, and then beating Westtown yesterday. Lawrenceville will be in the white with red numbers going from right to left on your computer screen. Hill School will be in the blue uniforms with gray numbers and a white trim. In the face-off circle to get this one started, it'll be Trevor Mackles for Lawrenceville and Brett Reynolds for the Hill School. As we are underway in the first quarter, here from Fisher Field as the ball popped in the air, and Mackles wins the face-off and picks up his own ground ball. So Lawrenceville will get the attack started, but then turn it right over as the Hill School will come back the other way. The Rams trying to move up the field. This is Jesse Corser-James. Off for William Lesko. Lesko gives it over to John Imperato. And the Hill School will settle into its offense. Driving on the attack, getting bodied off the ball and giving it up. It's going to be Carter Straub. Imperato. Top on the far side for McMullen. Imperato back behind. Tries to give it off, does Astorino, and it goes into the backfield, and it'll be taken over by Lawrenceville. Lawrenceville get their attack started. Chris Matea gives it over for Liam Sargent. Just outside the attacking area for Brooks English, and now back for Matea. English. Near side Sargent. Back to English as those two play catch. English looking for an alley, doesn't have one. Now Sargent at X. Up top for DJ Clark. English. Pass it over for Chevette. Chevette inside. The shot off the side of the cage by Matea. And scooped up by the keeper, Henry Camosa. So the Hill School trying to work it up for the clear as Matosa will come out of his cage. Looking for an outlet, it's blocked. He gets it back. The Sergeant blocked that one. And a push called against Dom Moretti will allow Astorino to get the clear. No, still haven't technically gotten it yet. The ball's never crossed the restraining line. Trying to work his way inside with the roll is McMullen. He pushed off. It'll be Lucas Osborne who sends it up ahead for Charlie Hoban. The shot taken and wide by Hunter Chevette. Backed up by Matea. Matea out onto the wing for English. Up top for William Upchurch. Upchurch heading to Colgate next year. The pass on to the interior by Chevette is blocked. He'll pick up the loose ball. 38 remains on the timer, so no real rush there. What a move by DJ Clark. English. Up top, Clark gives it back for English. Thought about ripping it, instead goes behind the net. Shot, score! Chris Matea with his first goal of the game, and the first goal of the game overall, and it is 1-0 Lawrenceville. It'll be Mackles and Reynolds in the face-off circle again. Mackles, a local product from right here in Lawrenceville, wins the face-off and scoops up his own ground ball. Matea inside, behind the back, shot, score by Sargent. Liam Sargent got the feed from Chris Matea, and then cutting across the goal, went behind the back. The Hill School is screaming for a crease violation. They're not going to get it. Quickly, 2-0 Lawrenceville. This one is won by Reynolds. Oh, it was. And then lost, and here comes Menino the other way. Menino into the offensive zone, now drops back as he allows a couple extra attackers to come on. Skoma. English, now behind the net for Matea. Upchurch. Matea comes back behind the net. English. Near side shot, ripped and a score by Skoma. The Lehigh-bound product from La Jolla, California gets his first of the game, and it is quickly 3-0. Reynolds and Mackles back in the face-off circle. Reynolds wins that one. As it checked away, ball on the ground. Coming away with it is Astorino for the Hill School. At least for a moment, relentless pressure. That ball is still loose, and finally scooped up by Tyler Menino for Lawrenceville. Penalty flag is out also as play continues. This one's going to go against the Hill School. Dom Moretti struggled to pick up that pass. And it'll go over the sideline, but William Lesko is going to head to the sin bin. And it's going to be an EMO for Lawrenceville. It's a minute-long penalty for the push with possession. So the first man-up opportunity for Lawrenceville in the game. They're already up 3-0 as we approach the midway mark of this first quarter. English up top for Osborne. Ball worked circularly around the cage. Osborne. Onto the near side, English. Into the middle, shot, and the save made. Ball goes over the end line, backed up by Liam Sargent, who already has a goal today. Chevette through DJ Clark. The pass onto the interior, the shot, and the score by Sargent. Sargent, his second of the game. And it is 4-0 Lawrenceville, that one with 10 seconds left on the penalty. So it is a man-up goal. And it is 4-0 Lawrenceville. As Reynolds wins the face-off. So the Hill School trying to set up the offense. Again, this defensive pressure in the midfield by Lawrenceville is absolutely unbelievable. Hill does get into the offensive zone. 5:25 remaining in the first quarter. As Hill nearly turns the ball over, Astorino fighting for it for the Rams. And it's a push against Lawrenceville, so it'll stay with the Hill School. This is McMullen. Up top for Imperato. Imperato pushed off the ball. His pass nearly thrown wide. Goes through Straub. Back for Imperato. Near side, it's McMullen. McMullen trying to break down his defender. Really good one-on-one with the high pressure from Chase Lewis. As the shot from McMullen goes wide, backed up by Astorino. 49 remaining on the possession clock, so no concern at the moment there. Imperato, near side McMullen. McMullen slips, keeps the ball, regains his footing, tries to fight his way inside, loses the ball, and it's picked up by Timmy Pesentini. You got a player down for Lawrenceville, who's quickly back up and on his feet and walking off. Lawrenceville will get the restart here, approaching 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Working it into the attacking zone. Chevette brings it back out for Upchurch. Behind the cage, it's Matea. Upchurch. Near side for Skoma. Offsides called against Lawrenceville, so the Hill School bringing it forward. William Schaller up into the attacking zone. The shot wide from William Lesko. Rams maintain possession, wearing their blue uniforms, moving from left to right on your computer screen in the attacking end right now. Here's Astorino. Lesko turns and fires, and the save made by turned over by Lawrenceville and a timeout called by the Hill School with 3:15 to go in this first quarter. The crowd continues to build here in Lawrenceville. Two goals from Liam Sargent, one each from Jack Scoma and Chris Matea have Lawrenceville on top in this first quarter. Lawrenceville beat the Hill School 14-5 1 week ago today in the final regular season game. It was again here on Fisher Field. Lawrenceville breaks the huddle and heads out onto the field. "11 committed players already on this Lawrenceville team. Mix of seniors and juniors who have already committed for their college careers. The Rams will get things restarted with Carter Straub on the near side. It was after the turnover and the timeout as Straub up for McMullen. Imperato trying to drive his way in, goes back up for McMullen. McMullen onto the interior, looks for Lesko. Imperato. He's off to the near side for Straub. Astorino behind the net. Astorino passes it onto the interior. Fight for space as Caprell tries to break free, instead has to shovel it off for Astorino. Here's McMullen. McMullen finds Caprell, and it's taken away as it's sticked away and taken away by Chase Lewis. Lewis into the offensive end. Dishes it off for Matea. Flags fly as the shot is saved. Matea was checked hard. We've got a foul coming up and a penalty against the Hill School. So it'll be an EMO for Lawrenceville, who's already 1 for 1 on man-up opportunities. This a 1-minute penalty. Can take it down to a minute 15 to go in the quarter, although I have a feeling Lawrenceville would like to score and go up 5-0 before that penalty expires. The ball into the middle, the shot, and what a save made by Camosa. Ground ball picked up by Lawrenceville as they'll reset the offense. Chavette gets it up back at the top, and his pass over for Upchurch is too high. It goes out of bounds, so it'll belong to the Rams. 20 seconds left on the penalty and a minute 35 remaining in the quarter. It's a tough balance right now for the Hill School. They need some offense, but they also need to kill off this EMO, which they're 7 seconds away from doing as Camosa sends it into no man's land, and it's scooped up by Menino. Menino's pass ahead too strong. The penalty is over, and the Hill School will get it back. Shot clock is dead. Minute 10 to go in the quarter as the outlet pass knocked away and stolen by Quentin Kilrain. Here's Sargent out on that far wing. Waiting for some offensive support. No, he's not. He's going to take it in himself and dump it in over Camosa. Sargent with the hat trick, and it's 5-0 Lawrenceville. Sargent, the senior attack from Manhasset, New York, who's heading to Lafayette next year. Already with his third goal of the first quarter. Mackles and Reynolds for the faceoff. Ball is still loose. Still loose. And finally it'll be scooped up by Camosa. So won by the Hill School, and the ground ball goes to the goalie on the faceoff. You don't see that very often. Long outlet pass by the long stick up ahead. Finds McMullen. Near side, it's Cooper Sugden. Gives it off, and one last setup offensively for the Hill School this quarter. The ball is lost and taken away by Lucas Osborne as the clock expires in the first quarter. With the score, Lawrenceville 5 and the Hill School nothing. We'll be back after this on SFBN. Three goals by Liam Sargent lead the way for the Lawrenceville School as the Big Red holds a 5-0 lead entering the second quarter against the Hill School. Team switch sides, Lawrenceville in the white jerseys heading from left to right. Fight for the face-off in the middle, and it'll be won by Reynolds with the ground ball scooped up by Schaller. Hill School has spent a lot of time in its own end. So here's Schaller trying to get up ahead for Astorino's shot and score. Astorino gets the Hill School on the board with his first of the game, the sophomore from Reading. And it's 5-1, 25 seconds into the second quarter. Once again, Reynolds and Mackles for the faceoff, and it'll be these two pretty much all night long. Reynolds heading to Colgate next year. Senior from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. So on the violation, it'll be Lawrenceville ball. Mackles. Near side for Chevette. Chevette surveying the options, goes behind for Matea. Up top, Sargent. Up Church. English, and now back behind the net for Matea. Just working the ball around for Lawrenceville, trying to find that opening. Turn and fire by Matea, and the save made by Camosa. Lawrenceville looking to get it across, and does so quickly before the transition defense for Hill School trying to get it across, and does so before the transition defense for Lawrenceville sets up. That transition defense has been incredibly solid for for Lawrenceville today. Ball dropped and picked up by McMullen. He fires it back. Short hops Imperato, but Imperato able to scoop up the ground ball. Straub tries to go onto the far side for McMullen, and it is over the sideline. Timeout's been called, I'm not sure by whom. All depends on who the ball was out on. Was it out off of Lawrenceville or off of the Hill School? So on the far sideline, Mike Murphy just telling his team, settle things down. Settle down, relax. You already got one goal back this quarter. Lawrenceville came out on fire in this one and added that goal late in the first quarter to make it 5-0 before the Hill School battled back with its first tally of the contest. The Hill School comes back out on offense. Lost the ball on the over-the-back flip. Lawrenceville nearly overruns it, but picking it up is Kilrain. Osborne. And now back behind the net for Chevette. Gives it over for Matea. Up top, Sargent. Sargent looking for the attackers to come on, now reverses back and wants to go to Matea at X. Up top for Chevette. Sargent fakes the pass. Now gives it off as English underneath for Chevette. Save made, ball loose. A scramble for the ground ball. And finally covered up and picked up by Camosa. The quick outlet pass. English is right there. But the clear is good. And the Hill School will get the thing set up on the offensive end. This is Imperato. Stutter step, trying to avoid the ride of Skoma. Ball loose over in the corner, picked up by the Rams. Into the middle, the pass is too far for Straub. And it'll be out off of the Hill School and belong to Lawrenceville. The possession clock had never been reset, so take care of that as Piacentini will outlet it himself. Ripping the shot as Matea goes wide. Backed up by Sargent. Matea. Sargent. Around for English, and now back to Matea. Again, just that patient offense, waiting for the seam. The Hill School really isn't applying high pressure. They're just sagging back and doing individual man marking. The shot ripped high into the right corner for the goal by Hunter Chavette. That was a rising rocket, and it is 6-1 Lawrenceville. That ball looked like it was going to sail high the entire time until it found the underside of the crossbar. As he picked his spot in the top right corner and found rope. Mackles and Reynolds on the face-off. Mackles just being patient and is able to win it back to Charlie Hoban. Hoban gives it off for Sargent, and now Matea at X as Lawrenceville sets up the offense. Chavette gives it off for Upchurch. Far side, it's English. Matea now back up for Chavette. Matea surveying the options, nearly turns it over. The ball is loose. English over there fighting for it also for Lawrenceville. It goes over the sideline, so it'll belong to the Hill School, but that does give Lawrenceville a chance to set up that transition midfield defense, which works as that pass, that outlet pass, misses its target. Schaller was looking for Sugden. Threw it about 4 feet over his head, and it rolls over the end line. So it'll be Lawrenceville coming back on the attack midway through the second quarter, already a 6-1 lead. Teams with 1 goal apiece here in the second. DJ Clark for Matea. Clark. Up top this time it's Jack Skoma. Sargent. Stutter step across for English. English rips it and scores. Brooks English, the junior from Burlington, Ontario, who's already committed to Brown in 2 years, makes it 7-1. There are a couple of juniors on this Lawrenceville team that are already committed. Mentioned Brooks English is committed to Brown. Junior Tyler Menino, the defender, is committed to Harvard. Lucas Osborne, Jr., is committed to Yale. Ball loose on the faceoff still. And finally picked up by the Hill School as Schaller comes away with it. This is Corser James. Flipping it over for Straub. Far side, it's Capel. Caprell, excuse me. Uses the screen, shot, score! McMullen with the goal. His first of the game. Gets that tally right back. Keeps it at a 5-goal margin, 7-2. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the second.
Let's go, you!
tackles, just rips the face-off away. Over for Chevette, who fires wide, backed up by Sargent. Matea gives off for Sargent, who'll set up the offense. Upchurch, far side for English. Matea and English play catch behind the net. Matea, now Sargent onto the near side, it's Chevette. Clark backs it out past the restraining line. The pass from behind the net is picked up by Matea off of the bounce. Sargent gives to Matea. Chevette wants it up at the top of the area. I don't know if Matea saw him. This is Clark. English back to Matea. As Chevette gets the feed from Matea and rips it home. Those are two absolute rockets from the sophomore from Shaker Heights, Ohio. And it is 8-2 Lawrenceville on top. Under 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Lawrenceville has increased its lead this quarter. It led 5-0 after one, and it's now 8-2. Astorino, who has one of the two Hill School goals. He scored the first one, and then McMullen scored on the Rams' last offensive set. Imperato onto the far side for Caprell. McMullen tries to give it back for Imperato. McMullen able to chase it down into the middle. Caprell, his shot is wide. And it's going to be Lawrenceville with the backup. Piacentini tries to outlet it up ahead for Scoma, but throws it away. Lawrenceville calls timeout with the dead ball. 3:11 remaining, 3:10 remaining in the first half. This game has gone pretty much as expected so far. Again, with the score from a couple of weeks ago. Actually, I say a couple of weeks ago, last week. A 14-5 win for Lawrenceville against the Hill School right here. Two of the three losses for Lawrenceville came in the first 3 games of the year, falling 11-5 at Haverford and 11-8 against Brunswick. Since then, though, they've won 10 out of 11, including 8 in a row, starting with a victory against Princeton Day School on April 24th. Then got some revenge at Brunswick, a 7-5 win. Beat St. Augustine Prep, beat Blair Academy, and really maybe the big win in that mix was a victory against LaSalle. LaSalle recently beating St. Joe's Prep, so that is no joke of a win there. That 13-10 victory for Lawrenceville against LaSalle. Really the only team I believe that's beaten LaSalle this year is the shot by Imperato is wide, backed up by the Rams. I believe the only team that has beaten LaSalle this year is Malvern Prep, and Malvern Prep also has a win against Lawrenceville. So if you're able to take down LaSalle, it's a pretty big win there for Lawrenceville. So here's McMullen. Dishes off for Imperato. Nice catch there by Straub. Back behind for Lesko. Across to Astorino. 2:24 remaining in the quarter. As firing and making the save on the shot. And then another save. First one by Straub, second one by Imperato, and Piacentini is right there to win them all. Here comes Lawrenceville in transition. Chavette is going to pull it back out. Give off for Scoma. Sargent behind the net, Matea. Deciding which way to go with it. Goes out far for English and then up top, Upchurch. Sargent. Lawrenceville begins the cycling. English. Sargent has an angle. The shot might have been tipped on the way through by the keeper, Camosa. Either way, it'll still be Lawrenceville ball as Chavette almost had another opportunity for a rocket. Instead, Scoma backed out to the restraining line. Deeks' defender who slips. Ty Keller gets back up. Sargent back behind Matea. Matea tries to find Chavette, who gives about 15 deeks. Okay, maybe not, but it's maybe about 3, but still, it was a really impressive goal. Well, hang on a second. Are they going to give the goal, or are they going to say crease violation? It is a crease violation. One too many deeks. Brought him a little too close, and he was in the crease before releasing the ball. McMullen deeks one way and then takes it back the other and scores. Anthony McMullen, his second of the game. And it's now 8-3 with under a minute remaining in the half. So after a tough first quarter, the Hill School has fought its way back, or at least fought its way to even in this one. That is still a big hill to climb. Against a team as talented as the Big Red. Still circling on the faceoff. The ball finally pops loose and is picked up by Schaller. His shot is blocked. Ground ball scooped up by Corser James. And a timeout called for by the Hill School with 34 seconds remaining in the half. As the Rams look to set up one more offensive set. See if they can pull this to a 4-goal game at the half. Scoring has been even this half. It was 5-0. Lawrenceville on top after the first quarter after Liam Sargent in the waning seconds of the quarter scored his third of the game. Hill School has had much more possession here in this second quarter. Possessing the ball as much as anything keeps it away from Lawrenceville. Lawrenceville has seemingly scored at will. So it'll be Straub to get things started for the Rams. Imperato, far side McMullen. McMullen gets by Osborne, shoots, and a save by Piacentini. being hounded, and now he's going to bring it out himself. Up the right side for Lewis. 13 seconds left. Chase Lewis gives it over for Chevette. 7 seconds left as the shot goes off the post. And the Hill School is just going to turn this one up the pitch. And that is how the first half will end. With the score, Lawrenceville 8, the Hill School 3 on SFBN. Coming back from halftime here at Fisher Field on the campus of the Lawrenceville School in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. 8-3, Lawrenceville on top of the Hill School in this Mid-Atlantic Championship game. Lawrenceville led 5-0 after one quarter on the strength of a hat trick from Liam Sargent. And then the teams went 3-3 even up in the second quarter, with the Hill School drawing back to within 5 in the waning moments as Mackles versus Reynolds. Reynolds wins the opening faceoff of the second half. Astorino, who had one of the 3 goals for the Hill School in the first half, actually had the opening goal that cracked the scoreboard for them. Imperato, outside the restraining line, gives it over for Straub. Astorino back for Straub. Starts the drive as his path cut off, uses Astorino as a screen. Now Imperato up at the top, marked one-on-one by Chase Lewis. His pass for Astorino is short. Astorino has to go and chase it down. Straub gets it back from Imperato. Bodied up by Lewis. Near side McMullen. McMullen tries to go into the middle, rips it wide. Backed up by Lesko. 20 left on the timer. Lesko tries to shovel it in, and he's in the crease. It'll be a turnover. Some good defense there by Lawrenceville to get the second half going. Now the Big Red moves it up the field. Nice job on that far side by Chavette in order to pick up that outlet pass that had gone over the head of Brooks English. Chavette, near side for English, behind the net for Matea. Through Sargent, up top and now over for English. Matea at X. English. And just that patient cycling by Lawrenceville, waiting for the good opportunity. English for Clark, back to Matea. 25 on the possession clock. It's Clark. Matea up high, and a turnover against Lawrenceville as he was trying to get it onto the far side for Chavette. So each team turns it over on its first offensive possession. The long outlet is connected for the Hill School. Ball loose now. And coming away with it is Schaller. And it's going to be a charge against William Schaller. So it'll be turned back over to Lawrenceville. Matea. Back up top for Skoma. English. Sargent. English. Now back over for Clark. Sargent with the sidewinder. And the save made by Camosa. Ball is turned over quickly, though. Clark comes up with it. Clark looking for somewhere to go with it. Tries to shovel it into the middle. And it's going to be interference against the Hill School, and Lawrenceville will maintain possession. It's kind of how the first half started. Lawrenceville wasn't quite able to break through until about 3.5 minutes in, and then scored 5 goals the rest of the way in the quarter. Hill School was never really able to get their offense set up because they really couldn't get the ball through the defensive midfield. Skoma Backpedals and gives it back to English. Matea behind the net off the feed from Sargent. Matea with the wraparound goal. Matea, his second of the game. Just less than 4 minutes into this second half. Lawrenceville opens up a 9-3 lead. Ball comes free. Mackles wins the faceoff, gets it back to Osborne. Osborne through Matea behind the net for Sargent. Sargent's been quiet since that first quarter. Osborne now into the attacking zone. Sargent for Upchurch. Osborne. Sargent. Matea, what a save by Camosa. The ball is loose and Camosa will come away with it. Well, this is what the the Hill School needs to do. They need to move the ball quickly before the defensive transition can get set up for Lawrenceville. That's where the Hill School has turned the ball over the most, is in that midfield on the clear. They do get it through this time. Now the offense works its way onto the pitch. Lesko over for Astorino. McMullen and Straub have switched sides. McMullen now up at the top, finds Imperato. Thought about the shot, hesitated, and then finally took it, and by the time that he had taken it, the lane that he had to shoot had closed up. Wound up firing it high and wide. Lesko had the backup, so the Hill School remains in possession. McMullen back on his familiar near side, rockets it low and bounces it past the cage, backed up by Lesko. 25 on the possession clock. So the Hill School's got to move as Imperato loses the ball and it'll be picked up by Piacentini. So an empty possession for the Hill School as here comes Kevin Morrow, the first year sprinting his way through. Matea gives for English, and now a little bit more patience, even more so than we've seen out of Lawrenceville. Again, they've been cycling the ball around the cage very well, just kind of looking for that opportunity. Now even being a little bit more patient, wasting some clock with a 6-goal lead more than midway through this third quarter. As English nearly able to convert the one-timer, the ball is loose behind the cage. Still loose, and it's going to be out off of the Rams, so it'll stay with the Big Red on the offensive end. .25 on the possession clock. Upchurch. Near side, Clark. Clark working his way up to the top. Now behind the net, Matea. Matea finds a cutting Sargent. Save made, the rebound is picked up by Clark, and he scores. DJ Clark, his first of the game. And it is 10-3 Lawrenceville. The Big Red with the only 2 goals thus far this quarter. It was 8-3 at half. It was 5-0 after 1. Teams each put up 3 in the second, and then Lawrenceville with the only 2 goals so far in the third. The faceoff is won by Mackles. He picks up his own ground ball. and gives it back to Osborne, who will waste a little bit of clock and hand off to Matea in order to allow the offense to come on. Matea for Sargent. And Sargent's been quiet ever since that 3-goal outburst in the first quarter. I mean, obviously 3 goals, you've done enough for the day, but honestly, he might just be serving at this point as a decoy. You've got to respect him because he has that offense. He has the ball now and gives it off to Osborne. English behind the net for Matea. Sargent rips, and the save made by Camosa. But again, the transition defense for Lawrenceville is absolutely stifling. It's a nice move by Sugden to try to get around. Gives it off as Astorino is hounded. And they're going to call a hold against Lawrenceville. No penalty, but the hold is called. That'll allow the Hill School to get things set up as Straub and Imperato now involve McMullen in the 3-man pass. It's McMullen, Imperato. Goes around the McMullen screen, tries to bounce it past Piacentini, who comes up with the save. The ground ball is picked up behind by Lesko. And that's a fresh possession clock for the Hill School, but I don't think they're worried about scoring in 80 seconds. They want to score in about 40 seconds. They need to do that in some pretty quick succession. Down 7 with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Lesko behind for Caprell. Up top, the shot from Straub is wide. The pass from Astorino goes over midfield, and it'll belong to Lawrenceville. Hill School had some chances there as in transition, English wanted to race in. A good job getting back defensively by, trying to see the number on that one. These numbers can be a little bit rough. Corser James. Matea. English. Clark. Matea. Now back to Clark out on the wing as we approach 2 minutes remaining in the third. Matea at X. He had Sargent cutting. Instead backs it out. As the rising shot from Clark is well high. Sargent now behind the net. As it poked away, scoops it up. Matea now in the middle. Back at X. They've got to get a shot off relatively quickly if they maintain possession as Clark with the backhand shovel for English. Over for Chevette. 4 seconds left on the timer. This has got to be a pass and shoot situation. Matea brings it in, and he's just going to lob it high up into the air into the opposite corner. They'll take the turnover in order to be able to set up the transition defense. Shot clock is dead. As there's the turnover. English has a step across, shot, score by Chevette. Defense to offense, Chevette with the hat trick. And it is 11-3. Camosa had come out of the net trying to do the outlet, was unable to do so. His pass was intercepted. English came away with the ball, had the step on Sugden. Was able to send it into the middle where Camosa was still backpedaling, and Chevette, right on the doorstep of the crease, knocked it home. Reynolds wins the faceoff, scoops up his own ground ball, but then his pass for Astorino is high. And it'll belong to Lawrenceville, so a turnover on Reynolds. Again, Lawrenceville does not need to take a shot here before this quarter is over. Osborne will jog it across the restraining line and get the clear. English keeps it and flips it back for DJ Clark. Chris Matea. Clark play catch. Sargent back up top for Clark. 15 seconds left. Clark. English couldn't handle the pass on the doorstep. Still comes away with the ball and scores. Brooks English with his second goal of the game. And it is 12-3, a 4-0 fourth quarter for the Lawrenceville School as they've opened up a 9-goal lead. We did see a goal scored in 5 seconds in our first game of the day. So it's not a guarantee that this will be 12-3 heading into the fourth quarter. But I would say it's a pretty close to a certainty, especially as these face-offs have taken a little bit more time, as it is won by Reynolds. And that is how the quarter will end. With the score, Lawrenceville 12, Hill School 3, 12 minutes remaining in this Mid-Atlantic Championship on SFBN. "12 minutes left as Lawrenceville Really just needs to kind of waste the clock here. Mackles wins the faceoff. Osborne with the ground ball. A 12-3 lead for the Big Red. Three goals each from Liam Sargent and Hunter Chavette. Two from Chris Matea and Brooks English. One from DJ Clark and Jack Skoma. Lawrenceville was up 5-0 after one quarter, 8-3 at halftime, and then scored the only 4 goals in the third to take this commanding 12-3 lead. And they've been patient on offense, just kind of probing for that one good look all afternoon long, but the patience has improved here in the third and now into the fourth quarter. Matea behind the net. Clark. Cross for Chavette. Upchurch back to Clark. Time is starting to become a factor on the possession clock. 17 on the timer. Clark. His pass onto the interior for Upchurch is tipped. And coming up with the ground ball is Camosa off of the caused turnover by Corsair James. Time is not on the side of the Hill School as they've got 10.5 minutes to erase a 9-goal deficit. Imperato over to Straub. Right side McMillan. McMillan starts the drive. He fires from a mile away. The shot is saved. It'll be scooped up on the far side off of the weak rebound by Lesko. That shot actually was blocked on the way through. They never reset the possession clock. I thought it made it all the way into Piacentini, but it did not, so 20 on the timer now. Here's Imperato. Good ride by Chase Lewis. As the stick is tipped on the way through by Straub. Straub's stick was tipped on the way through by Charlie Hoban. And it went in weakly on Piacentini, and now it'll be scooped up by Tyler Menino and jogged forward by Lucas Osborne. 3 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Nobody's scored yet, and for Lawrenceville, that's just fine. The homestanding Big Red just really need to keep the Hill School off the board. If they don't put anything extra on, no big deal. Henry Murray makes his first appearance of the day. He's taken the spot that Upchurch had played earlier in the game, up at the middle at the top of the restraining line. Also into the game is Skoma back in. Sargent, Skoma, left side English. Behind for Matea. The Sargent gets the feed from Matea. Was he good or is he in the crease? The goal is good. 13-3. As Liam Sargent gets his first goal since the first quarter. This time Reynolds wins the faceoff. Stick is tipped from behind by Mackles, but is still able to get it into the attacking zone. Corsair James backpedaling. He's dangerously near the midfield line, is able to get it off for Schaller. Schaller, the long stick, will take the shot, and Piacentini with the save. Long outlet up ahead, looking for Kilrain. He couldn't make the catch as it's loose. And it'll be scooped up by Kilrain. And now the offense will begin. So we approach 7:30 remaining in the contest. Chavette gives off for Murray. Murray, who will be heading to Tufts. And a local product out of Trenton, New Jersey. Gets the ball back just past the restraining line. Now over for Sargent. He had 11 players already committed from this Lawrenceville team, including 3 juniors. As Sargent, who will be heading to Lafayette in the fall, almost scored behind the back. Chavette. Thought about the shot, gives it off for English. Rocketing the shot and seeing it go wide. On that far side was Skoma. Mateo with the backup. Skoma. Murray. Now Sargent. You look at also what's coming back for Lawrenceville when you consider that both Chavette, Mateo, and also adding Clark are just sophomores. Plus you've got the juniors who are already committed. Is the power strip plugged in? We apologize for a slight electrical malfunction. They are trying to fix the power, and it's not just the power that we're dealing with, it's the possession clocks that are also having an issue right now.
We want jockey! We want jockey! We want jockey!
As The teams continue to see what's going on and just kind of wander around out on the pitch. The possession clocks are quite literally blinking right now. They might have cycled through them. Hey, it looks like they are on. And if the possession clocks are on, that means that we can be on. And when I say we, I mean the game. Oh, they got it. There we go. Now reset to 80. Zastorino will get things started for the Hill School. Lawrenceville has so much energy that they just burn out the clocks. Well, and again, hang on a second, because the possession clock needs to go to 80. There it is. It was at 90. Lawrenceville has scored all 5 goals in the second half. They opened the game scoring 5 in a row in the first quarter. Hill School Rams have only scored their 3 goals, all coming in the second quarter, not the second half, that is. Looks like the referees are giving the thumbs up. Now the ref on the far side is having a discussion with the Lawrenceville coaching staff. And we are running again. And the game clock and possession clock are not running on the scoreboard. And now they whistle it dead because the game clock wasn't running. We noticed it right away. So they reset the clock to 6:11 for the 3 seconds that elapsed. Okay, and both are running now. And so is the Hill School into the offensive end, Imperato. Far side, McMullen. As the pass onto the interior is tipped and taken away, as Piacentini comes away with it. And again, now if you're Lawrenceville, a lot of this is just kill off 75 seconds. Which, speaking of 75 seconds, the possession clock just got stuck and reset to 90. I wonder if they're keeping the possession clock on the field right now, because the ones in the corners are not working. The game clock on the scoreboard is working. That's at 5:15, but the possession clocks are not running. So I'm wondering if they're keeping that down on the field, the referees are. The ball onto the far side, Skoma, Matea, and now right side for Sargent. Sargent behind Matea. Skoma rips the shot and scores. Jack Skoma, his second of the game. And it is 14-3. Mackles and Reynolds head back out for the face-off. Ball stalled in the midfield and finally scooped up by Schaller. Schaller will take it in himself and shovels it underhand for Astorino. Imperato on the near side, Straub. Straub trying to drive on Osborne. Osborne, the good ride, not letting him pass. And now Lewis will pick up McMullen. Goes back to Straub on the far side. 4 minutes remaining as McMullen through Straub for Imperato. Lewis again, a good defensive effort there. Imperato with the shot. And he does find the back of the net. Imperato's first goal of the game and the first goal for the Rams in the second half. .344 remaining. The ball is placed, the whistle is blown, and the faceoff is won by Reynolds. Schaller with the ground ball. Off onto the near side for Capral. We have rarely said his name here in this second half. He's a little bit more involved. He's kind of been that center point of the offense, or that center spot in the offense, trying to find him to be able to get free and turn and fire for the Hill School. They just have not been able to find him, particularly in the second half. Straub had a step to the side, but Lewis kept pushing him off to the side. And now the pass for McMullen looking for Capral. Goes over the sideline. It'll belong to Lawrenceville with exactly 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The lob up ahead looking for Murray, but picking it up on that far side is Skoma in order to make sure that Lawrenceville maintains possession, and now a lot of it's keep away. You've got a 10-goal lead as you approach 2.5 minutes remaining. At this point, any goal for either team is pretty much cosmetic. William Ford comes into the game for the first time for Lawrenceville. Back behind the midfield line, a defender from Denver, Colorado. Murray back over for Skoma. Again, even though possession clocks aren't running, if they're keeping it on the field, it's down to 25 because this possession started at exactly 3 minutes. Sargent rips, fires, scores! Liam Sargent, his 5th goal of the game. The senior attack from Manhasset, New York makes it 15-4. We got a new man in the face-off circle for the Hill School. Austin Lambert, a junior out of Southeastern Pennsylvania, will be taking the face-off, not the senior from Chapel Hill, Brett Reynolds. Won by Mackles. And again, 80 more seconds for Lawrenceville to waste out of the 120 that remained at the time of the face-off. Frustration foul against the Hill School. They touch the ball again, it'll be a penalty. Is moving into the field is, again, William Ford. Murray. Thought about going to Ford, and now does on the far wing. Near side for Skoma. Murray back for Ford. And again, no real urgency here. Although for somebody like Ford, he's going to want to at least try to get a shot off. He's gotten into this game for the first time with 3 minutes to go. Nice job poking it away by Kierlason. And the penalty will be recorded with 57.8 seconds remaining. And since the shot clock resets on the penalty, that will effectively eliminate the shot clock, or it should, I believe. Although the shot clock is literally blinking with the number 8 right now. Under a minute to play here. As just playing catch up at the top of the arc. Clark flips it off for Sargent. Underneath the shot and score by Lucas Osborne. Osborne with his first of the day. Comes with 37.4 seconds remaining, putting a capper on this one. Reynolds will go back out in the face-off circle against Mackles. Ben Greenberg comes on for the first time for the Hill School. It's one of the wings on the face-off. Violation, and it'll belong to the Hill School. Reynolds dishes off for Astorino. His pass is off the mark, and it'll be scooped up on the far side by Dom Moretti. So it'll be Chase Lewis bringing it across with 20 seconds to go. Chavette with 10 seconds left. And now you're just pretty much making sure you don't turn it over. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the Lawrenceville School comes away with a 16-4 win in the Mid-Atlantic Championship. Lawrenceville led today by Liam Sargent with 5 goals. A hat trick also for Hunter Chavette. 2 goals each for Chris Matea and Jack Skoma. 1 each for Lucas Osborne and DJ Clark. As the team comes over to the rest of the student body on the near side to celebrate. A dominating performance that was an 8-1 advantage in the second half for Lawrenceville. Goals for Hill School, 2 from Anthony McMullen, 1 from Joseph Astorino, and 1 from John Imperato. So that's going to do it for us this evening. Our thanks to Matt Talbot on camera and Bill Lewis, our producer. One final time, Lawrenceville wins it 16-4. For everybody involved in the broadcast today, I'm Chad Cooper saying, have a good evening, everybody.